I was born in Sunderland in 1931 and lived there until in 1940 the Germans started bombing the town and we moved to Appleby in Cumbria to escape the bombing. But first let me tell a bit about my family. Both my parents were immigrants. My father, Joseph Louis Topaz, was born in Vitebsk in Belarus. When he was 2 years old, his father brought the family to England. Eventually, they settled in Sunderland, and my grandfather opened a furniture factory. My father was studying to become an architect when my grandfather suddenly died, and Dad had to take over management of the factory. He had a partner, one Stanley Goldberg. My mother, Rose Brewer, was born in South Africa. Her father came to Sunderland from Kretinga in Lithuania, as did many of the Jews in Sunderland. He tried his luck for a while in South Africa, but when my mother was 5, they came back to Sunderland. Dad's hobby was photography, especially portraits. He built a studio in the attic of our house and equipped it with sophisticated lighting, which he built himself. He had photos exhibited in various events and was also a member of the Stereo Photographic Club. In 1940, we rented this house in Appleby. At first, Dad continued living in Sunderland, but came to Appleby at the weekends. He showed some of his photos to the local chemist, who was so impressed that he suggested to Dad he set up a studio in Appleby and offered him space in the warehouse behind his shop for the studio and a darkroom. Meanwhile, getting material for furniture production got more and more difficult, and at some point he sold his share of the factory to Goldberg and came to settle in Appleby with us. So he turned his hobby into a profession. There was quite a demand for pictures to send soldiers and distant relatives. At some point, Dad thought he should join the war effort and went to the recruiting office in Carlisle to volunteer for the army, but they told him that photographers were considered an essential service. I went to school in Appleby Grammar School. There was also a school from South Shields, which was evacuated in total to Appleby, and one of the teachers, Arnold Joseph, was Jewish. He lived in Appleby with his wife and daughter, and our families became very friendly, going for walks together in the countryside. There was one other Jewish connection that I know of, a Jewish dentist who had converted to Christianity. We did go to Sunderland for Chagim, holidays, and on some of those occasions the Germans welcomed us with bombs and we had to sit under the stairs as we didn't have a bomb shelter. We also went to Sunderland for my bar mitzvah, but by that time there were no raids. There was a Jewish teacher living in Penrith who helped prepare me for my bar mitzvah, but I lost contact with him. I don't even remember his name. During those years we made quite a lot of trips in the Lake District. Dad always came with a camera. He built up a collection of photos and at some point had the idea of making view postcards for sale, for which there was a great demand. He started by offering them to the local shops and later to other places. I'm very proud of his contribution to tourism in the Lake District. My niece and I have collected between us some 100 of the postcards, and Trish Skinner also has a few more. The studio at the back of the chemist shop was rather hidden, and he decided to move the shop and studio to Penrith, some 12 miles away. He got a shop in Little Dockery in the centre of town, and the adjacent shop for my mother to sell artificial flowers. When the war ended, we had to vacate the house we had rented in Appleby, and we bought a house in Penrith. I transferred to Penrith Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in the 6th form. I heard from some pupils rather nasty anti-Semitic remarks. I soon discovered that the source was the chemistry teacher, who told them things like, the only good thing Hitler did was what he did to the Jews. In my first lesson in his class, he said something against Jews, so I stood up and said, Mr. Hargreaves, you should know that I am Jewish. He never dared to make another remark in that vein, at least not when I was in class. In Penrith there was a Jewish family from Newcastle, the Bursons. Their daughter was older than I and was working for one of the local newspapers. There was a Czech couple who had escaped the Nazis and wanted nothing to do with Jews or Judaism. One more thing, one of our neighbours in Rehovot, Miriam Vardy, now deceased, told us that she had spent the war years in Kendal, which is also in Cumbria.